Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory here with your weather show at 2:30 this afternoon. We do have some updates for you regarding the First Alert weather day. This morning, meteorologist Byron Douglas added a First Alert weather day for Wednesday as confidence is increasing that we could maybe see a few strong or even severe thunderstorms as these storm chances roll through on Wednesday. That could include a threat of damaging winds and minor flooding, and maybe even a quick spin-up tornado, although overall our tornado threat is very low. So this First Alert weather day has been put in because the storm threats were upgraded for Wednesday. But I also want to point out that the timing has changed, as it looks like we're going to see a couple different waves of rain, and the first one is expected to now move in earlier than we initially thought. Nothing to worry about this afternoon or evening. We've got clear blue skies overhead right now, and it's going to stay mostly sunny through the rest of the day and mainly clear through the overnight hours as well. As we get very late tonight into early Wednesday morning, closer to 4 a.m. or so, we will start to see some clouds pushing in, and then the rain quickly follows them. So by about 7 a.m., we could already have rain pushing into southeast Illinois. If you watched yesterday, you remember that the rain was initially expected to start sometime late morning, close to lunchtime, and then continue into the afternoon. So this is a big speed up here, where it now seems like this rain is going to start to push into Illinois early Wednesday, probably around 7 or 8 a.m., and then move from west to east across the tri-state as we go through the first half of the day. So where initially it looked like the rain would maybe get started around lunchtime, now it looks like we may have a pretty good chance of rain across most of the tri-state by then. Then that rain starts to push out. Our rain chances become more isolated then through the second half of the day, but we may still catch a stray shower at some point Wednesday afternoon or evening. Then we see a second round of rain as we get into the overnight hours Wednesday night. I don't know that this rain will be quite as widespread. It'll be just these clusters of thunderstorms, but that's where we see the greater risk of severe weather. So with these thunderstorms overnight Wednesday night, not everyone will see that rain, but wherever those thunderstorms pop up, and we don't know exactly where. This is just a depiction of how it might play out. That doesn't guarantee that that's where that storm will actually move through. It'll just be somewhere across our region. We'll have these clusters of thunderstorms moving through overnight Wednesday night, then kind of tapering off as we get into Thursday morning. Looks like the bulk of that rain will probably be out of here sometime between 7 and 9 a.m. and the rest of the day Thursday is trending mostly dry. As for our threat for any kind of severe weather, obviously nothing to worry about today. Today, any chance of storms is off to our west as we have mostly clear skies overhead. But as this whole system slides to the east, notice initially yesterday we had this level 2 risk for severe weather more down here. It went from about the boot heel of Missouri kind of back along the Missouri-Arkansas border. So that level 2 threat has been expanded, and more specifically, it has been expanded to the northeast, pushing closer our way. So that now puts us in this level 1 risk for an isolated strong to severe storm. And then we've got that level 2 threat just right up against the southwestern edge of the tri-state, actually clipping parts of Gallatin, Union, Webster, Hopkins, and Muhlenberg counties there. Then by Thursday, things are starting to move out. If we do have any showers or storms lingering into Thursday morning, by that time it looks like they'll be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. But Thursday is trending drier now, and Wednesday is trending wetter. So everything seems to kind of be backing up into Wednesday and should be clearing pretty quickly on Thursday. As for the individual threats, flooding and damaging wind are the primary concerns. So any storms we get, they're most likely to be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. But if we do get an isolated strong to severe storm, most likely the threats with that would be some torrential rain and maybe some wind gusts capable of, blowing down tree branches or maybe even whole trees if they're weakened, power outages, things kind of like what we saw just on Sunday night into early Monday morning. That level 2 risk I mentioned that just clips that southwest corner of the tri-state, that does include a very low level risk of maybe some hail or a tornado. Most of that stuff is expected to stay to our southwest, but I wouldn't rule out a little hail or even a brief spin up tornado, especially if you're farther to the southwest. But The primary and most likely concerns are very heavy rain and damaging wind gusts. As for our temperatures, even though we have rain moving through, I don't think we're going to see any major temperature changes. Our temperatures are currently sitting in the mid 80s in most locations. It's 85 in Newburgh, Evansville, and Henderson, 84 in Owensboro. Our dew points are sitting in the mid 60s. We've got a dew point of 64 in Henderson and Owensboro, which is still a little humid, but really not too bad, especially given this time of year. All of last week and into this past weekend, we had just that stifling, oppressive kind of humidity. Then yesterday we dropped down to muggy, and then today we're down a step farther. So the humidity has really improved as we've gone through the past couple of days. And yeah, it's a little hot, a little sticky out there. For mid-August, though, it's really a pretty nice day. Overnight tonight, we'll fall back into the mid to upper 60s, mostly clear and calm. Then the clouds push in late tonight, and by tomorrow we do have that chance of scattered rain and thunderstorms. Depending on how much of that rain lingers into the afternoon, we'll top out somewhere in the low to maybe mid 80s on Wednesday, and then similar on Thursday. That rain tapers off early in the morning. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s again. Then it turns mostly sunny from Friday through the weekend and into the start of next week. Friday and Saturday will be a little warmer with highs in the mid to upper 80s. I wouldn't rule out a stray shower popping up mainly sometime in the afternoon on Saturday, but I think most of us will probably stay dry this weekend, and it looks mainly dry on into the start of next week as well. Let's check in on the comments here and see what questions you might have for me today. All right. Good afternoon, Laura, Mary Beth, Patrick, Misty, and Suzanne. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, a lot of people just saying some people don't want the rain at all. I know we just had quite a bit of rain in some locations Sunday night into yesterday morning. Misty is hoping rain but no thunderstorms, which is a possibility. It does seem like this will be mostly showers and just kind of general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, but an isolated strong to severe storm certainly can't be ruled out, which is why we've thrown in this first alert weather day. All right, let's back things up for just a moment and take a look back at what this month has brought us so far. We're still having some problems with the weather station at the Evansville Regional Airport. We didn't get a high temperature on Wednesday the 5th. Then it was working through that heat wave, and then it pooped out on us again on Saturday afternoon, and we haven't had a consistent temperature reading since then. So we didn't get a high temperature on Sunday or yesterday. We probably won't get one for today either, but they have been able to go back and look at the rain gauge and kind of bring it in retroactively. So we do know we got 1.36 inches of rain at the Evansville Regional Airport from about midnight Sunday night through Monday morning. So that has really added to our overall rain totals. We now have more than 3 inches of rain for the month, which is 1.5 inches more than normal for this time of year. August is typically a pretty hot, dry month. That also helps us out with the shortfall, the deficit we've been running for the year. We're now just 2 inches short on rainfall for the year. At one point, we were like 1.5 feet short because we had such a dry spring. You'll remember we were in drought for much of the spring, and then weirdly enough, we've made a lot of that rain back during the summer, where in a normal year you would get most of your rain in the spring, and then it's, you know, hotter and drier during the summer months. So this one has been an anomaly. Most of our severe weather this year has also happened in the summer months. Our average temperature is still running about 3 degrees warmer than normal. That's not going to be completely accurate because we have 3 days missing there. But in general, especially looking at last week, it has been a very hot August. Moving forward, our temperatures are going to be a little closer to normal for this time of year. Just kind of hanging out in the mid to maybe upper 80s some days, so near to slightly below average. Our normal high for this time of year is 88. Similar story for our lows, running right around or maybe just a couple degrees below normal through most of the next 7 days. Looking at the extended outlook from Wednesday, August 26th through the rest of the month there. It doesn't show a real clear signal for wetter or drier weather patterns. So we'll probably see some rain, but we don't have a setup where it's going to be a lot of widespread heavy rain or rain over several days that would set us up for a rainy pattern. But vice versa, it doesn't look like we're going to have a really dry pattern where we could maybe see the return of drought and things like that. This is just kind of a typical weather pattern that we seem to have setting up for the end of the month here. For the temperature outlook, we are sitting in near to maybe slightly above average. So we'll probably see some upper 80s toward the end of the month, but it doesn't seem like we've got another heat wave like we saw last week anytime in the near future. It looks like the extreme heat is all going to stay to our southwest. They are concerned about some really intense heat along with a stretch of dry weather. You'll notice they're outlooked for heat, but also that orangish yellow color there is drought, particularly rapid onset drought, where they're worried it's going to be so hot and so dry that everything will basically just dry up and wither. And so they're real concerned about that kind of stuff down to our southwest. But it looks like all of that is going to miss us here at home. Quick update on the tropics for those of you who are curious about Lala. It just narrowly missed making landfall in Hawaii, but with the size of the storm, they still definitely got hit. It's just the eye didn't make landfall. They still got a lot of rain and damaging winds there. It has now re-intensified into a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's still moving west at about 10 miles an hour, but it is expected to change direction and turn back to the north. Really kind of holding serve here, though, staying steady at a Category 2 hurricane through tomorrow, then only weakening slightly into a Category 1 hurricane as we head into the weekend. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot out in the part of the ocean where this is headed, so it's not expected to hit any kind of major population centers or anything. There's just some very, very small islands out there. Here's one more look at the 7-day forecast, taking one more check in at the comments here to see if there are any more questions. Hello, Greg. Let's see. William is talking about, how many tornadoes there have been in Indiana. Indiana and Illinois have both had, when you look at the states as a whole, a lot of tornadoes this year, but a lot of them have been north of us, especially in Illinois. They had, a lot of severe weather and tornadoes up around Chicago and places like that. But here we did have, that one day where we had several tornadoes all in one day, and then we've had a couple other just kind of isolated ones. We had one just Wednesday in Winslow, but a lot of the severe weather this year has gone north of the tri-state. I'm not seeing any other questions about the forecast, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll have another look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and I'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9, so I hope you'll join me then. Thanks so much for watching the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. I hope you'll join us again later this evening, and have a good rest of your day.